In the first presentation I made to the president about the budget that I had crafted for him to consider sending to Congress, went over things so he would get specific responses on things. And at one point I said, and Mr. President, I propose that we privatize and demonopolize the U.S. Postal Service. And he said, Jim, that's a good idea. And I was so proud, and I went out thinking. Later, I find out that he had given one of his radio addresses years earlier saying the same thing. So rather than saying, well, Jim, I thought about that 10 years ago or something like that, I reminded of that plaque he had on his desk, something to the effect that you'd be surprised how much you'd accomplish if you don't care who gets the credit. He was giving me credit for something for which he should have taken credit. The president, late in the second term, dedicated the Republican Senatorial Trust building up near Union Station. And there was a crowd there, and there was a lot of hoopla, and there were balloons and everything. And the president started speaking, and a big balloon near his microphone suddenly burst. Pow! And it just startled everybody. Miss me, he said. He was a wonderful man to work for personally. He was a man whose policies were so much in tune with what the country needed and what I personally thought should be done. It was wonderful working for him. He was very predictable. If you go back and look at his speech, his 1964 speech, it's all there.
We're for a provision that destitution should not follow unemployment by reason of old age. And to that end, we've accepted Social Security as a step toward meeting the problem. But we're against those entrusted with this program when they practice deception regarding its fiscal shortcomings, when they charge that any criticism of the program means that we want to end payments to those people who depend on them for a livelihood.
He was an achiever from the very beginning. I mean, he was a lifeguard, did this and that. He was an actor, and then he was head of the Screen Actors Guild. He had a great experience as governor of California, so he had those kind of experience. But that time between his being governor of California and his doing all of the circuit speeches gave him time to think about all these things, and he wrote out all these scripts that some people in the media thought, oh, he had writers, etc. They were not writers that put this together. It was Ronald Reagan. And as Annalise Anderson and Karen Skinner show in the book they edited entitled In His Own Hand, he wrote those things, and he thought through those things. And so when he became president, he knew where he was going. He knew his philosophy, and he knew his direction.